जय
ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की
जय
संत गौरी वैष्णव वृंद की
जय
आचार्यदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की
गोविंद की जय।
गो प्रेमानंदे
हरि हरि बोल।
और बड़ी संबोधि
हरे कृष्णा।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 1 creation chapter 7 the son of Drona punished today's verses 6 and 7.
Prabhuji, we didn't do verse 5. We didn't do verse 5 last time.
We read the purport but we have not
Yeah. We read the
that,
purport. Yeah.
that will do.
Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna.
Anartha
अनर्था
shamam
शमं
saksha
Sakshad
bhakti yogam
भक्ति
Bhakti
योगं
dokshaje
Adokshate
yogasya
Lokasya
अजानतो
Ajan
अजानतो
विद्वांस
Vidvans
ओम
चक्रे
Chakre
सात्वदा
Satvata
सात्वता
निदाम
Samitam
अनतोपशमं साक्षात्
Anato Pashamam
अनन्तोऽस्मिन्
Sakshat
भक्त्वा
भक्ति मोक्षजे
Bhakti Yogam Adokshaje
मोक्षते।
योगस्य जानतो विद्वांस
Lokasya
योगस्ते
Janto
जानतो
Vidvans
विश्वाम्
चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम्
Chakre Satvata Samhitam
चक्रे अनतोपशमं साक्षात्
Anartho Pashamam
समं
Sakshat
साक्षात्
योगम अधोक्षजे
Bhakti Yogam Adokshaje
योगोच्यते।
जानतो विद्वांस
Lokasya Janato Vidvans
चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम्
Chakre
चक्रे
Satvata
सात्वत
Samhitam
चक्रे अनत्तोपशमं साक्षात्
Anartho Pashamam
समं
Sakshat
साक्षात्
भक्ति योगम अधोक्षजे
भक्ति
Bhakti
योगम्
Yogam
अदोक्षते।
योगस्य जनतो विद्वांस
Lokasya Janato Vidvans
चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम्
चक्रे
Chakre
सत्वद
Satvata
संविधाम्।
Samhitam
चक्रे not चक्रे
Chakre Satvata Samhitam.
can read.
Yeah.
Can you read?
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Mataji can read now.
Yeah, okay. Anartha, things which are superfluous. Upashamam, mitigation. Sakshat, directly. Bhakti Yogam, the linking process of devotional service. Adokshaje, unto the transcendence. Lokasya, of the general mass of men. Ajanataha, those who are unaware of. Vidvan, the supremely learned. Chakre, compiled. Satvata, in relation with the supreme truth. Samhita, Vedic literature. Translation: the material miseries of the living entities, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. Srila Vyasadeva saw the all-perfect personality of Godhead. This statement suggests that the complete unit of the personality of Godhead includes his parts and parcels also. He saw, therefore, his different energies, namely the internal energy, the marginal energy, and the external energy. He also saw his different plenary portions and parts of the plenary portions, namely his different incarnations also, and he specifically observed the unwanted miseries of the conditioned souls who are bewildered by the external energy. And at last he saw the remedial measure for the conditioned souls, namely the process of devotional service. It is a great transcendental science and begins with the process of hearing and chanting the name, fame, glory, etc. of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Revival of the dormant affection or love of Godhead does not depend on the mechanical system of hearing and chanting, but it solely and wholly depends on the causeless mercy of the Lord. When the Lord is fully satisfied with the sincere efforts of the devotee, he may endow him with his loving transcendental service. But even with the prescribed forms of hearing and chanting, there is at once mitigation of the superfluous and unwanted miseries of material existence. Such mitigation of material affection does not wait for development of transcendental knowledge. Rather, knowledge is dependent on devotional service for the ultimate realization of the supreme truth. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Verse 7. Yasyam
Yasyam
vai
vai
yamanayam
shruyamana
shruyamanayam
Shruyamānāyām
Krishne
Krishne
Paramapushe
Param Purushe
Bhaktir
Bhakti
Bhaktir
Padre
Utpadyate
Utpadyade
Utpatyate
Pumsa
Pumsa
Yoga Moha Bhayapaha
Shoka
Bhayanagha
Yasyam Vai Shruyamanayam
Yasham vai Sruyamanayam
Krishne Paramapurushe
Krishne
Krishna Paramapurushe
Bhaktirobhadyade Pumsa
Bhakti
Shoga Moha Bhayapaha
Shoka Moha
Yoga Moha Bhayanagha
Yasyam Vai Shruyamanayam
Yasham vai
Krishne Paramapurushe
Krishna
Krishna Paramapurushe
Bhaktirobhadyade Pumsa
Bhakti
Bhaktirutpatyate Pumsa
Yoga Moha Bhayapaha
Shoka
Shoga Moha
Moha
Bhayabaha
Yasyam Vai Shruyamanayam
Jasyambe Suyamanayan
Krishne Paramapurushe
Krishna
Krishna Paramapurushe
Bhaktirutpadyade Pumsa
Bhaktirutpatyate Pumsa
Yoga Moha Bhayapaha.
Shoka
Shoga
Moha
Moha Bhayabaha.
Minindamaji can read the verse.
Yes. Yasyam, this Vedic literature.
You read the verse.
Verse? Okay, the translation and everything. Oh, the verse, okay. Sorry. Yasyam ve shruyamanayam Krishne parama purushe bhaktir utpadyate pumsa shoka moha bhayapaha. Hare Krishna.
Snigdamaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jasyambe Suyamanayan Krishne Paramapurushe Bhakti Utpadyate Pumshaha Shoko Moho Bhayapaha.
Hi. You can read.
Yes, synonyms. Yasyam, this Vedic literature, why certainly Sruyamanayam, simply by giving oral reception, Krishna unto Lord Krishna, Parama, Supreme, Purushe, unto the personality of Godhead, Bhakti, feeling of devotional service, Utpadyate, sprout up, Pumsaha, of the living being, Soka, lamentation, Moha, illusion, Bhaya, fearfulness, Apaha, that which extinguishes. Translation. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Purport: His Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There are various senses of which the ear is the most effective. This sense works even when a man is deep asleep. One can protect himself from the hands of an enemy while awake, but while asleep, one is protected by the ear only. The importance of hearing is mentioned here in connection with attaining the highest perfection of life, namely getting free from three material pangs. Oh, everyone is full of lamentation at every moment. He is after the merits of illusory things, and he is always afraid of his supposed enemy. These are the primary symptoms of the material disease, and it is definitely suggested herein that simply by hearing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one gets attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and as soon as this is affected, the symptoms of the material disease disappear. Srila Vyasadeva saw the all perfect personality of Godhead, and in this statement, the all perfect personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is clearly confirmed. The ultimate result of devotional service is to develop this genuine love for the Supreme Personality. Love is a word which is often used in relation with man and woman, and love is the only word that can be properly used to indicate the relation between Lord Krishna and the living entities. These living entities are mentioned as Prakriti in Bhagavad Gita, and in Sanskrit, Prakriti is a feminine object. The Lord is always described as the Parama Purusha, or the supreme male personality. Thus, the affection between the Lord and the living entity is something like that between a male and the female. Therefore, the term love of Godhead is quite appropriate. Loving devotional service to the Lord begins with hearing about the Lord. There is no difference between the Lord and the subject matter heard about him. The Lord is absolute in all respects, and thus there is no difference between him and the subject matter here about him. Therefore, hearing about him means here, sorry.
Yes. Any problem you're facing?
Yes. Probably where I left.
Again, you just said that Lord is absolute in all respect, and thus there is no difference between him and the subject matter heard about him.
Yes.
Therefore,
as mentioned before, a living entity developed a sort of complexity by material association, and the illusionary encasement of the material body is accepted as an actual fact. Under such false complexity, the living being under different categories of life become illusioned in different ways. Even in the most developed stage of human life, the same illusion prevails in the form of many isms and divides the loving relation with the Lord, and thereby divides the loving relation between man and man. By hearing the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, this false complexity of materialism is removed and real peace in society begins, which politicians aspire for so eagerly in so many political situations. The politicians want a peaceful situation between a man and nation, but at the same time, because of too much attachment for material domination, there is illusion and fearfulness. Therefore, the politicians' peace conferences cannot bring about peace in society. It can only be done by hearing the subject matter described in the Srimad Bhagavatam about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The foolish politicians may go on holding peace and summit conferences for hundreds of years, but they will fail to achieve success until we reach the stage of re-establishing our lost relation with Krishna. The illusion of accepting the body as the self will prevail, and thus fearfulness will also prevail. As for the validity of Sri Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from revealed scriptures, and there are hundreds and thousands of evidences from personal experiences of devotees in various places like Vrindavan, Navadvip, and Puri. Even in the Kaumudi dictionary, the synonyms of Krishna are given as the son of Yasoda and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Parabrahman. The conclusion is that simply by hearing the Vedic literature Srimad Bhagavatam, one can have direct connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and thereby one can attain the highest perfection of life by transcendenting the worldly miseries, illusions, fearfulness. These are practical tests for one who has actually given a submissive hearing to the readings of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
What happened? You've been shouting at the students?
Yes, no, Prabhuji. Actually, my hand, by mistake, my hand is pressed and it has gone. The purport is gone somewhere. Again, I have to bring, and I could not find the line.
I'm speaking about your voice.
Yes, Prabhuji, due to cold and cough.
You're shouting at the students among us.
No, Prabhuji. Due to cold and cough, I am suffering from cold cough.
ज्ञानतिपरान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपगदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवाषभानवी देवी दैत्याय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञानदायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्यो जल प्रेमाढ्या श्रीरूपानुगा भक्तिदा गौरकरुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्ते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरधव सिद्धान्त द्वान्दहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बरसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजे ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावराय ते गौराविर्भभूमेश्चं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रिया वैष्णवसार्वभौमो श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः श्रीरूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथा श्रीजीव गोपाल भट्टा दास रघुनाथा एचाय घोषाय कोरि चरण बंधन जहाँ मोति विज्ञानाश अभीष्ट पूरन वांछा कल्पद्रुवश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्युषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगल्पदे गोपेशा गोपिका कांदा राधा कांदा नमस्तुते तप्तकांजन गौ
Jayata.
जलां सुहृदो वंगो मम मन्दमतेर्गतिर् मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजो राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्या उदारण्यकल्पतुमदा श्रीमद्नागरसिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन् रासरसारम्भिवंशीवडत्तडस्थितः कषन् वेणुसुनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रियेतुना तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत राधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे अनथोपशमं साक्षात् भक्ति योगमधोक्षजे लोकस्या जनतो विद्वांश्चक्रे सात्वत संहिताम् The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotion service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in relation to the supreme truth.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
doing the text 5, Prabhuji.
Yeah, text 5, I'll explain. Text 5, already you read that this one now.
Yeah, but you didn't explain it, Prabhuji.
I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
I'm
Krishna.
reading the 6th, that's all. I'll go back. I'll go back. I'll actually go back from 4 itself.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
You're very interested in the 5th one, no? It's very important.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, right. Good. So, advice of Sri Narada Muni, Vyasadeva started meditating on the Supreme Personality. How he started meditating? What was the process? Bhakti Yogena is mentioned, no? Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihire. And the word Samyak means perfect. So meditation, the perfect meditation is meditating on the Supreme in Bhakti, in loving devotion service. That is what is the essence of this verse. You have to meditate on Krishna, and when you have to meditate, you cannot be just like that what is a mechanical way of meditating. It has to be done with bhakti. Bhakti means love. So meditating, of course, in now Kali Yuga means meditating mantra, meditating, chanting the names of Krishna. But now Veda Vyasa is meditating in the real way, the Dhyana Yoga process. He is situated in a lonely place. You can see it in Saraswati, river Saraswati, fulfilling all these conditions that is mentioned, the 6th chapter. And when he reached the supreme realization, what happened? He saw Krishna. He saw Krishna. It is not mentioned Krishna immediately. He said, Purusham Purnam. Apashyat Purusham Purnam. And Samik Pranihide. And also mentioned that without any tinge of materialism. So we can see that's pure devotion only. Devotion is not mixed here. Devotion is not mixed with karma. Devotion is not mixed with jnana, or devotion is not mixed with sagama or desires. No, it's pure devotion only. And only when you have pure devotion will you have love for Krishna. And when there is pure love for Krishna, only Krishna will reveal himself. So Vedavyasa was very pure in his heart. And so Krishna will mercifully reveal himself. Avashya Purusham Purnam. Purusham Purnam means that is explained in Vishnu Chakravarti, this verse itself, and Srila Prabhupada is explaining in verse 7 also. That is Purusham, not Krishna alone, Krishna with all his energies, internal, external, marginal. Krishna with all his powers, Shadaishwarya, Krishna in his all his Vaishnava Tattva expansions and all the expansions, Jiva expansions, everything. So you can see that he saw the Jiva also, you can see. Purusham Purnam, in the complete, he saw the Purusha complete with all his energies, all his opulences, all his powers, all his expansions. That's how he saw. And that's why he saw Maya Ancha Abhashyam. Somebody may raise us how he saw the Maya also, but it is mentioned here, Purusham Purnam, Maya is part of his Krishna's energy. The difference is that Maya is completely dependent on Krishna. And he realized that Krishna is a supreme personality. Now, yes, of course, it is mentioned Purusham, but that is Krishna because later, by 7th, it comes, it will be explained very nicely. That is Krishna only, nobody else. So first, he does not reveal himself first. Effulgence say first. Hiranmayana Patrayana. Srila Prabhupada is quoting from which Upanishad? Ishopanishad, isn't it? Ishopanishad. Hiranmayana Patrayana Savyastavijam Mukham. The supreme absolute truth face is covered by Hiranmayana Patrayana means a golden plate, a golden covering. And this golden covering is the Brahma Jyoti. So, beyond Brahma Jyoti is a real person. In Malayalam, there is a very famous scripture called Narayaniyam. The author of Narayaniyam or the speaker of Narayaniyam is Melpattur Bhattadripad. Very great devotee of Krishna. This happens in the 16th century or 17th century, that period. He was attacked with what do you call it? Was bedridden. He had what do you call weakness of his arms, limbs. He couldn't move. He had affected with stroke, so he couldn't move.
Paralyzed.
What is that?
Paralyzed.
Yes, paralyzed. Exactly, paralyzed. Was paralyzed, and then he started writing Narayani, which is nothing but expansion of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is containing 100 chapters, and the 100th chapter is able to see Krishna. But before he saw Krishna, he saw this golden light, the blue light, and behind that he saw the Kishora form of Krishna, Kishora form of Krishna. In Padma Purana, it said that Brahma Jyoti is emanation from the names of Krishna, toe names of Krishna. So absolute truth is now accepted by Srimad Bhagavatam or explained by Srimad Bhagavatam or realized by Vyasadeva as Supreme Personality himself, which he had not given importance. That was the cause for his depression. As we remember, the 5th chapter it is revealed. He explained properly in detail the glories of Achyuta. But now he realized that the Supreme Person, the absolute truth is a Supreme Personality of Krishna himself. So all the darkness was removed and he could see Krishna. And though he was a Brahman realized person, he was Atmarama. His son Shukadeva Goswami was also Atmarama, but he also became devotee. Like that, Vyasadeva, although he was Brahman realized person, he became a devotee by understanding that Krishna is the supreme. The person Krishna is the supreme absolute truth and not Brahman. So here it is meant that he saw Apashya Purusham Punam Mayam Chat Tat Apashyam. He saw the Maya also. But it was under control of Krishna. But the Jiva, because he would see Jiva also, Purusham Punam, but Jiva, the the case with Jiva is different. That is explained verse in text 5. Yaya sammohido jiva atmanam trigunatmagam parobi manude anartham tat kridam chavipadyade. Due to his external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes reactions of material miseries. So he could see the poor condition, pathetic condition of a conditioned soul who entrapped by the snares of Maya. Now here it is clearly mentioned that the Jiva is in a superior category. He is actually part of a internal potency, while Maya is an external potency of Krishna, which is separated from Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, the fourth verse says, Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankaramiti yamme bhinna prakriti. These material elements, which is comprising of the Prakriti, are a separated energy, bhinna Prakriti. This is a separate energy of Krishna. While Jiva is Krishna's internal potency only, but since it has a propensity to fall into the external potency, it is classified as Tarastha also. So he considers himself being attracted by the glare of Maya. He considers himself to be a material product. Now, Srila Prabhupada says, he considers means actually thinks. So that when Jiva has a capacity for thinking, feeling, and willing. These are the functions of the mind. Thinking, feeling, and willing. He thinks himself to be a material product. Then when he ponders on it too much, when you think about matter only, when he is looking at the sense objects, then he becomes feeling the hardens, and then he acts willing. So he tat krida. Tat krida means he acts on that basis. Tat kridam chavipadyade. Based on this illusion of being conditioned, the living entity acts on the basis of this, and he suffers the reactions. Yes, Melinda Maji, yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I had one question on external energy of Krishna. So, Maya is also a person, I believe. If yes, then does she ever get liberated or become has a chance or have a choice to become an internal energy of Krishna?
Right. Maya actually is a servant of Krishna.
Okay.
In Brahma Samhita, you can say, it is mentioned as his servant. Brahma Samhita verse is Srishti Prayasadana Shakti Rega Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Jagat Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Jagat. Yes, yeah, no, sorry. Just hold it for a second.
Yeah.
Very good. Srishti Prayasadana Shakti Rega Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Vivarti Durga. Ichani Rupamai Asya Cheshtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The external potency of Maya, who is the nature of shadow of Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and destroying agency of this material world. I adore this primal Lord Govinda in accordance with whose will Durga conducts herself. So Durga is actually in charge of this material world. She is creating, preserving, and destroying this modern world because she is a servant of Govinda. He acts on the will of Krishna, acts on instruction of Krishna, That is because she is a subordinate of Krishna. So, which means she is a devotee of Krishna, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah.
She is acting on the instruction of Krishna. And Durga is a shadow of chit potency, and Durga is considered to be a shadow of Srimati Radharani. But
Okay.
she has been, you'll find that she has been, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is writing that she has been entrusted with a thankless job
Mhm.
of keeping these jivas bonded.
Yes.
But she is actually a shadow of chit potency. On behalf of Krishna, on instruction of Krishna only, in the material world, she acts as Durga. But she is a devotee of Krishna, associated with Krishna. So she is a devotee. It's not that she is something different from Krishna. No,
Mhm. Okay.
she acts on its. But she has a role to play in this material world.
Okay.
Srila Prabhupada explains it, no, because an affectionate father is he cannot control his child. So what he does is he give it to a very stern person who will take care of the child.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
So Durga is that person, and since Durga is acting on self Krishna, and on the will of Krishna, she is a servant of Krishna only. So she is a devotee only.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And in Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada is quoting from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, says that Durga is eternal only, not temporary.
Okay. Mhm. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So, so this thinking, feeling, and willing is an account of conditioning. And this thinking and feeling and willing, because of this knowledge of this jiva about himself, is covered. So you can see this verb, anatobhavam, yasya samohito jiva, atmanam trunatmam, paravi manude anartham. Anartham. So why he considers himself to be a material product? Because his real knowledge, real jnana is covered. Bhagavad Gita explains it. Srila Bhagavad quotes from Bhagavad Gita. It said Bhagavad Gita also says that the real knowledge of jiva is covered by this maya. The verse is third chapter, verse 38. Dhumena vrede vahinir
Varni.
yadadasho malena cha yado ulbena avrdo jnanam tada tenedam avrdam. Tada tenedam avrdam. The karma or this lust or the maya covers idam. Idam means the knowledge of the living entity, not the living entity himself or itself. It is a knowledge of a living entity that is covered. And the comparison, the degrees of covering is given. The lightest degree, which represents a human being, is Dhumenagni. Why the fire is covered by smoke? The second one is the mirror is covered by dust. Yadadasho malena cha. Adasha means mirror. Mala means dust. And the highest covering is Yadho ulben avardo garbha. Just like
Womb.
embryo is covered by the garbha. The womb. Embryo is covered by the womb. So jnana is covered. The real jnana is covered. In the next verse is given. Avardam jnanamedena jnanino nitya vairina. So the real knowledge of living entity is covered by this maya, and so he himself considers himself to be a material product, illusion. And so he falls into maya, which is represented by Durga. And Srila Prabhupada says that the Lord does not desire living being to be illusioned by external energy. The external energy is aware of this fact, but still she accepts the thankless task of keeping the forgotten soul under illusion by her bewildering influence. Forgotten soul means the soul which has forgotten Krishna. Not somebody has forgotten soul. So forgotten soul is one who has forgotten Krishna. Immediately the Maya will bounce on him, or rather pounce on him. Krishna Bhayamuga Jiva, Maya Lipate Tara. Maya will jump upon him. So, Srila Prabhupada says that Krishna is very merciful. He tries to release his bonded Jiva from his bondage by sending scriptures, sending some good devotees, nice devotees, or sometimes he himself comes. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that yes, my Maya is very difficult to overcome. Yes, Singamaji, that famous verse, you know.
देवी एषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्वया
Yes.
मामे तं तरन्ति ते माया में तं तरन्ति ते.
One has to surrender himself to Krishna. Then only you can get out of Maya. But surrendering process is not very easy. Surrendering process comes with association only. When you see a person, very advanced person who is surrendered, then you get an inspiration of how he has reached that position. Then he will leave all this bad association and look for good association. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Tado dussangama sujya satsu sajjeda buddhiman sanda eva chindandi mano vaisangam uktibi. Tado dussangam utsujya. Dussangam utsujya means association with material bonds or people who are in the material bonds. Both ways. Tado dussangam utsujya. How we can dissociate from these what you call lusty people? By satsu sajjeda buddhiman. He associates with very saintly persons. And what happens when he associates with saintly persons? Sanda evasya chindandi mano vaisangam uktibi. Sanda with his words. Uktibi means words. Saintly persons can cut. Chindandi means cut. What he cuts? Mano vaisangam. The excessive attachment in the mind. Vaisangam. Sangam means association. Vaisangam means excessive. Very strong. So excessive attachment in the mind created by illusion, a thing that is made is cut into pieces by the words of saintly persons. And when he surrenders, then he starts listening to Krishna's glories. And he is nicely guided by Krishna himself as Paramatma, inside and outside, outside as a spiritual master and initiating spiritual master. And in the next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada says, the personal superintendent of illusory energy is confirmed in the Vedas, Kena Upanishad, in relation to demigods controlling power. Personal superintendence of illusory energy. So personal superintendence actually means this illusory energy is also accepted as a person. In relation to Kena Upanishad speaks of some stories. There's some stories mentioned in Kena Upanishad, how demigods, there was a fight between demigods and demons. Demigods, Devas, won that fight, the war with demons. And they became very arrogant. They became, oh yeah, we are very powerful. We have defeated the demons all by ourselves. We don't need anybody else's help. Nobody can oppose us. We are the most powerful persons in the whole world, the whole universe. Like that, they were very thinking very proudly, and they started drinking Somarasa. They became very arrogant. Suddenly, what apacature, something that some kind of form which they couldn't understand or distinguish, suddenly appeared before them. And they were taken aback. They didn't know what kind of form is that. And then suddenly the form was not also seen. So Devas got very upset. Indra, the king of Devas, he ordered Agni first. Agni, you go and find out what is this apature, that is that form. So Agni went, then he met this form. He couldn't make out what is this form. And this form asked him, who are you? Then Agni was telling him, I am the most powerful Devas. I am the fire god. And what is your power? You ask me my power, I can burn down the whole universe if I want, into ashes. Such powerful I am. So this person just put a blade of grass on the floor, or on the ground, and said, okay, please burn this down. And the fire god started laughing. You mean to say this small blade of grass, you want me to burn it up? A whole universe I can burn within few minutes. What about this paltry small piece of grass? Can just do it in a fraction of a second. Saying that, he just started burning this grass, but nothing happened. Then he intensified his efforts. Again he intensified, but nothing happened. The grass remained very fresh. Then he was bewildered. He accepted defeat. Then he went back and told that I couldn't find this person. But he didn't say the real reason. And then they were at air god, it's this Vayu, god of wind. So he went there, and then he saw this form, and then this form asked, who are you? And then again the wind god, Vayu born, he started laughing. He said, I am the most mighty, powerful, and the strongest of all the devas. How strong are you? By my whirlwind, I can just break all the mountains. I can break all the trees. I can create waves in the sea. I'm so strong. I'm the strongest person. Because really, then can you just uproot this grass? The wind just laughed and just blew very slowly with his mouth, just slow wind. Nothing happened. Again, he started blowing more hard, more hard. Then he created a tornado, a typhoon, everything he tried, but nothing happened. So he also failed, and then he went back, told the same story to Indra also. I couldn't find this person, hiding the real reason. Then other devas requested Indra himself, why don't you please go and check up, because we are very upset. What is happening, we don't know. And then Indra went in his Airavatam, and that spot he saw Parvati, Goddess Parvati there. That is Durga only. Durga was there. And then he asked, what happened? What happened this here? Who was his form? And Durga replied, was Brahman himself. All the strength, all the power is emanating from Brahman only. But you people mistook the power of yourself. You are the own creator of the power. You thought that power belongs to you only. Actually, it all belongs to Brahman only. So that way, Durga taught them a hard lesson, and they was very repentant. This is a story that's given in Kena Upanishad, and Srila Prabhupada says that this explains that this Durga is a person, and but the control of the energy is external, is differently situated. In Shweta Shodra Upanishad says that Prakriti Mayinam Vidhi Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. Prakriti is Maya and keeps the living entity bonded in the illusion, in a snares, But Mayinam to Maheshwaram. But the control of Maya is Maheshwara. That is Krishna. But sometimes Krishna says that this Mayavadis, they consider this Jiva to be equal to Krishna as supreme. No difference between this Jiva and the supreme personality, saying this bondage is only illusion. Then the question will be asking, who has fallen into Maya? If the supreme personality himself has fallen into Maya, that means Maya is stronger than absolute truth, isn't it? How come the supreme Brahman illusioned by Maya? So this is a question which Mayavadis cannot answer. Srimad Bhagavad is clearly mentioned that Mayam to abhashidam. The Maya is a subservient to Krishna only. It is under the control of Krishna. So naturally, that which has fallen is only energy only, the amsha only. The jiva is accepted as amsha of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Ome vamsho jiva loge.
Jiva Buddha Sanadana.
Yes. Manashashtani indriyani pragadistani darshati. Okay, that is it. That means amsha is only amsha only. So amsha only has fallen, not the complete. The complete whole is Krishna only. Complete has not fallen. Parabrahman has not been attracted, or is not illusion. Illusion is felt by or experienced by the jiva only, because he is bewildered. But Krishna is not bewildered. And how can this jiva can be saved? Srimad Bhagavatam says it is through only devotion only. This is mentioned in the next verse. So Vyasadeva, seeing Krishna, his energies, his expansions, his Jiva Tattva and the external energy Maya, he could find everything. I could see how this living entity has been trapped by illusion. Then he could also see the solution for that also. And what is the solution? That is given next verse. Anatto Vashavam Sakshat Bhakti Yogam Adokshade. In verse 5, you can see that anartha word is used, isn't it? Parobi manude anartham. Anartha means those which is not wanted, is undesirable. What is undesirable? This bondage only, isn't it? The bondage is undesirable for jiva. So how this bondage can be upashamam? Upashamam means mitigated. So the verse starts with this anatta upashamam. Sakshal Bhakti Yoga Adokshaje. Now the Purusham has been explained now as Adokshaja.
Transcendental person.
Yes, transcendental person. Adokshaja, one who cannot be understood by our material senses, is transcendental. So through Bhakti Yoga only, in the verse 5, Krishna or Srila Prabhupada always explained this, the reason or the solution also. But solution comes here only. And Srila Prabhupada mentions in the next verse, the solution is given. So anartha upashamam sakshal bhakti yoga adokshaje. So this is a great science. Bhakti yoga is a very great science. Srila Prabhupada says Bhakti yoga starts nothing but Navadha process. Starts with hearing and listening and chanting. Shravanam Kirtanam. Srila Prabhupada says the mechanical process of Shravana Kirtana will not generate bhakti. And the whole purpose of Bhakti yoga is to rekindle our dormant love for Krishna. That is the whole purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the whole purpose of life mission also. So the process is advocated as Namata process by Srimad Bhagavatam. But if you are not chanting or listening properly, Srimad Padmarana mentions 10 aparadhas, offenses of chanting. One of the aparadhas is not attentively chanting. Because you're attracted by something else. You're hearing, you're chanting, everything's right. But because you are attracted by the Maya, you are not properly chanting. So that is aparadha, offensive chanting. But Srila Prabhupada also says that even by offensive chanting, there is a mitigation of the superfluous unwanted miseries. Anartha vashavam. Sakshat. Anartha is vashavam. So even by offensive chanting itself, we can destroy all these unwanted things. Then think of what will happen if you have the Shuddha Nama. The Shuddha Nama only gives us the love of Krishna, and which can be given only for the totally surrendered devotee, one whom Krishna picks, Krishna chooses. And it depends on our sincere efforts. How sincere we are in the efforts to please Krishna. But pleasing Krishna is the whole purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam, it's the whole purpose of human life. And how sincere you are in trying to please Krishna, or are you proportionately pleasing Krishna as well as pleasing others also? Saturday we had a very good function here. Balram Jayanti celebration was there. And along with the Balram Jayanti celebration, we had a Disha process also. 2 devotees were initiated. And the Diksha process is very rare. I asked all the devotees to participate. A few of them did not participate. Most of them came. Few of them did not come. And what is the reason? They had some relatives, something else. Some reasons will be there. They couldn't come. Now the relatives visit you. How do they plan their visit? They plan their visit. They said, I want to go to that person because they plan. They have their system of planning. And they plan and visit us. And then we forget our plan and entertain them. Think that is our duty. Or this person is coming from that distance and we have to be with him only. We cannot afford to go to this place, that function. But you forget that that person is planning. He is planning where he has got so many things are there, and he is planning his visit. Why couldn't he tell him, because I am not free on this day? Because you don't want to hurt him. You want to please him. This happens always. Devotees are very docile sometimes. They are not, what do you call it, very charged up regarding their priorities. If you are very mild and docile and type, then you will always be a prey to others' whims and fancies. So our priority of pleasing Krishna will take a back seat. Our business is to please Krishna only. But you want to please somebody else. That means you are still in the anarthas. We can cite many reasons for this, why you are not done that. But ultimately, it is a case of priorities. You have given more priority to that thing rather than this thing. Srila Prabhupada says, even though you are chanting with avaradas, even though you are not trying to please Krishna to maximum sincerity, but still, even that also, then it can mitigate your anarthas. Srila Prabhupada says, normally these anarthas are destroyed when the real jnana, when transcendent knowledge comes, then only it will go. Srimad Bhagavatam 6, the Jnana Yoga, verse 20 explains this. The string of verses in 28, 21, 22, and 23. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya yatra chaivat atmanatmanam paschinnatmetushyati sugam atyandigam yattad grahyam adindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam sidaschalati tattvadaha. So transcendent knowledge, when you have the transcendent knowledge, you are placed in this, what is that? Sugam atyandiyam yatad grahyam atindriyam. It is beyond the senses. Highest pressure, atyandiyam, because that knowledge has been revealed. Srimad Bhagavatam here, Srila Prabhupada says, you don't have to wait for the transcendent knowledge to be revealed. Because knowledge is dependent on devotion service to Krishna. That is the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. Janedi Ashuvairagyam. In verse 6, 7th verse of the first chapter, you have seen that, no? Sai Pumsa Parodharma, Yado Bhakti Adokshade, Ahitugi Apradihada, Yayatma Supasidadi, Vasudeve Bhagavadi, Bhakti Yoga Prayojida, Janedi Ashuvairagyam, Jnanam Chatada Hetugam. When you render devotion service to Krishna, knowledge as well as vairagya, detachment, automatically happens simultaneously. That is why it says, Logasya ajanado, because people do not know this. People are not aware of this. The most merciful Vyasadeva, he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, Chakre Sato Samhidam. And in that Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyam, next verse starts, Yasyam vai shoyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe Bhakti ulpadyade pumsa shoga moha bhayabaha. Yasyam, in this literature, in this Vedic literature, by simply giving oral receptions to this literature, the feeling for loving devotion service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So here now, the Paramapurusha or the Adokshaje is accepted or understood as Krishna only, is revealed as Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada towards the end of the purport says that in the Kaumudi dictionary, synonyms of Krishna has given us son of Yashoda and Supreme Person Godhead Parabrahma. So Krishna's, many synonyms of the Krishna for Krishna's, depending on his qualities, his activities. Attributes means his qualities. Some names like Dayanidhi, treasure house of mercy, Dayalu, compassionate, Achyuta, imperishable, Ananda, infinite, endless, eternal. Then it is related to activities, some by pastimes, Leelas, Gopala, covered boy, Govinda, one who has knowledge of senses and protector of cows, and giving pleasure to Indriyas. Nanda Gopal, son of Nanda, Devaki Nandan, son of Devaki. Like that, Krishna has got so many names. But Krishna ultimately is a supreme personality, because this divinity, there is divinity also. Devadideva, Devesha, Paramatma, Sarveshwara, Maheshwara, Parameshwara, so many names are there, which indicates the divinity, that he is a supreme. Here it says Shuyamanayam. If you hear the voice, these narrations, glorious names, pastimes, paraphernalia, etc. of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says Shuyamanayam means ear is the most sensitive organ. Now, if you are hearing, not mechanically, but attentively, in Bhagavad Gita, while speaking of meditation, it is meant that you have to concentrate with your eyes on the tip of your nose, isn't it? Jnana Yoga. Sindhavan, do you remember this?
Yes, Prabhuji. Chapter 6.
Yeah, chapter
Suchi
6.
Dese.
11, 12 something, and then when you start the samam kaya shirogrivam dharayanachlam sthira sampreksha nasigagram swam disha anavalogayan. Dishamsa anavalogayan. So sampreksha nasigagram. You are keeping these eyes on the tip of your nose. Tip of your nose. Then manasamyamya machito. You have to concentrate your mind on me only. So sometimes people understand as if you are concentrating on the tip of your nose, isn't it?
Yes.
By meditation means you are keeping your eyes on either on the eyebrows or on the tip of nose. If you are concentrating on the tip of, what is concentration? Concentration is a function of mind only. You are just seeing, but when you're concentrating means that is a function of mind. If you're concentrating on the tip of your nose, how come that you can keep your mind on Krishna? So Shankaracharya gives a very sensible, he says that eyes only converge as if means as if eyes were concentrating on the nose, as it were. It is eyes are not concentrating on nose, eyes are just converging, that's all. The mind is actually concentrating on Krishna. Are you understanding the difference?
Yes.
Milindamaji, yes, you said something?
No, I said yes, Prabhuji, I understood.
Right.
Yes. Prabhuji, that is 6.13. The sloka also it is mentioned. That samam kaya sirogrivang.
Yes. Yes.
Dharayan achalam sthira.
Yes.
Samaprekya nasikagra. Swam desesa chana.
That's a verse just read now.
Yes.
Swam Nasiya Agram.
Yes, yes.
Swam Nasiya means keeping the eyes on the tip of nose. Does it mean that you're concentrating on the tip of nose? Your just eyes are converging only. Concentration is on, the mind is on Krishna only. So same way, Shuyamana also, ears, you may hear so many things, but if you are not fixing your mind on a particular sound, then you will not be able to hear properly. The mind, we hear properly only when we focus our hearing. Likewise, it's a mind that focuses. Indriyas, they just observe, they see, they hear, they smell, that's all. But when the mind is there, when the mind applies, is actually you are seeing through the mind, you are listening through the mind only. So Shuyamanaya means powerful listening. Shuyamanaya is just not listening or not just hearing. It is powerful listening. So when you listen very powerfully, with concentration, the glories of Krishna, Krishna Parapurushe, then Bhakti Rulpadyade. Now you can see how the Bhakti is developing. You have to concentrate hearing. You can't concentrate on chanting. When the mind is completely on the chanting, completely on hearing, then the devotion will rise. Mechanical chanting, mechanical hearing will not lead to devotion. And devotion means love of Krishna. Bhakti ulpadyade pumsa. The feeling for devotional service to Krishna happens. And this pumsa, Srila Prabhupada explains as a Purusha only, and living entity is accepted as Prakriti. So there is a loving relationship between the female and the male. The Prakriti is accepted as female, and the Purusha is accepted as male. Purusha is male. So just like there is a love between husband and wife, same way there is a transcendental love between the living entity and Krishna. The relationship is based on love only. And if you love Krishna, then you love everyone else. Bhagavad Gita in the 15th chapter, verse number 12, verse number 12 and 13, mentions very clearly that only person who is devoted can have very nice relation. Verse number, I think, chapter 12 chapter, not 15th chapter, 12th chapter. This is Bhakti Yoga only. 13 and 14 mentions Adveshta Sarabodhanam Maitraha Karuna Evacha.
Karuna evacha nirmama nirahankar samadukha sukha kshami.
Yes. The person
Yes.
who is not envious of all the living entities. Adveshta Sarabodhanam is not at all envious of any living, not only human beings, but all living entities. That is the difference between our scriptures and other scriptures. Maitra Karuna Evacha, friendship and mercy. Nirmamo nirhangara samadukha sukashami. And how this person develops these qualities? Santushta sadam yogi. He's always santushta, he's always satisfied.
Yatatma
Why
Judha
is
Nishta.
satisfied? Vayarpida mano buddhir. So a person who is very happy because he's rendering devotional service to Krishna, then naturally he is non-envious of all the persons. He is very compassionate, very friendly. Because he doesn't have any illusion. If there is illusion, it is followed by shoka and bhaya. Moha is a basis. misidentifying ourselves. Moha means illusion. And when there is illusion, there will definitely be sorrow. And along with sorrow, there will be fear also. Bhaya dvidiya abhiniveshasya. Fear is always because of excessive attachment to our body or bodily things. If you are a working person, if you are very attached to your work, then you always think about work. And then the fear will be there, whether you are done it properly, whether people are accepting it, whether people are happy with this, or will they not accepting the quality of my work? Whether you're a teacher, whether you are employee, any category, any capacity, if you are excessively attached to your work, then naturally the fear will be there. Whether somebody is not appreciating or somebody is like that. Yes,
Another thing, Prabhuji, when we accumulate the things, whether it is material or non-material, when we accumulate the things, there is a fear of going away.
What is this non-material?
Human being, our relations, when
No,
our relations,
that is all material. No, that is all material.
yes, we are in a fear that we may lost that.
Yes. Na shochati na kanshati. That is fear. It is mentioned
Yes.
shoga, moha, bhaya. Bhaya is naturally be there. When you attach me naturally, you'll feel that you may lose it sometimes. Over there says that, what is that? Brahma Buddha Prasannatma, na shochati na
Nakachati nakangshati. Yes.
And losing means losing your dear ones, losing your position, so many things. Depends on your, or losing your or body. When the body means getting some severe sickness, severe disease, you're afraid of that also. Like you mentioned, actually material not really, actually what you mean is concentrated selfishness and diluted selfishness. Concentrated selfishness and diluted definition selfishness is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasyatma buddhi kundabetu dhadige sudhi kalatradishu bhava ujjati. Yasyatma buddhi, when you accept yourself, your atma buddhi is how you are accepting or considering yourself. Kundabetu dhadige, this body of the three tattvas, which is actually deadless, dead. Kunape means dead body. Body is actually dead. This body made of these three dhadus, kaba, pitta, kaba, pitta,
Bhato pitta.
and sodhi, what is your intelligence? What is how do you consider? Swa means my own. Sodhi, kalatradishu, wife and children, and then our nation. These are all our attachments, and we are very afraid of this. First, we think that these are our dependent. We are very secure. We are having so many relationships, but actually they are fallible soldiers. Second chapter, second canto, beginning itself, Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam says, these are our these relatives. We think that we are very strongly protected by our relatives. These relatives are fallible soldiers. But then you are afraid whether you will lose them. This is bhaya. And why this bhaya and shoga? Because of illusion, because of wrongly identifying yourself as a body. While your real position is that you are soul of Krishna and a living entity is only part of Krishna. And that will be revealed by taking the name of Krishna. For that, you have to develop attraction for taking the name of Krishna. It's a very simple procedure, but most of us are not following this. So we'll end this with a verse from Mukundamala Sutra, Kulashekar Parimal. It's a very beautiful verse, verse number 28 and 29. He says, Srinatha Narayana Vasudeva, Shri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapane, Shri Padmanabha Achyuta Kaitabare, Shri Rama Padmaksha Hare Murare, Ananda Vaigunda Mukunda Krishna, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Bhaktum Samartho Vina Bhakti Kaschin, Ho Jananam Vyasan Abhimukyam. So many names of Krishna: Srinatha, Narayana, Vasudeva, Shri Krishna, Bhakta Priya, Chakrabane, Shri Padmanabha, Achyuta, Kaitabare, Shri Rama, Padmaksha, Murare, Ananda, Vaigunda, Mukunda, Krishna, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. So many millions of names, so beautiful names. If just you can chant that, you'll be so happy. All this anartha will be completely mitigated. But even though it is very possible for you to do it, but still we are not doing it. Vaktam samartobinna bhakti kashit. Even though we are able to chant it, we are not chanting it. Why we are not chanting? Ho jananam vyasnabhimukyam. So much our attraction for distraction, accidents. So much is our attraction. Vyasana. What is Vyasana?
Luxuries.
Yes. Vyasana means danger. They are very eager for their own pearl. So although people can address you, still they remain silent. Just see how eager they are for their own pearl. So let's all chant Krishna's name very dedicatedly, with rapt attention. Then we'll all be very happy. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Jai Ho.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Krishna. Tuva Sindhu Vyevacha. Padanam
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Shila
श्रीला
Prabhupada.
प्रभुपाद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंद।